Yes! 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 What's up, guys? It's me, the XXX Prince, with the final retro review for WrestleMania. This time I'll be talking about WrestleMania 30. This was a show where, honestly, without this show, it all started back at the Royal Rumble, but people like me were never born. Let me explain. In 2013, I started high school. I was learning about tech and stuff. So then I started to do a website, which is my website, of course, which is now dxpa.weebly.com. But then when the Royal Rumble happened and Daniel Bryan lost, I was furious. I hated everybody, and that became me, and that was the birth of a lot of people. So this show has a lot of nostalgia for me, just because without the road to WrestleMania, for WrestleMania 30, I wouldn't even be here, and that's insane. Granted, I still didn't make YouTube videos. I didn't do any of those things, but I did the website because I still was kind of shy. I eventually became making videos when, of course, I got dumped and all that bullshit, but that's besides the point. Let's talk about WrestleMania 30. I was thinking about, are people fanboying about this show just because Daniel Bryan won, or is this show really that damn good? Because even I was saying this is one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, and it still is. But when you look at the matches, there's really only like 2 or 3 or 4 matches that were actually pretty good. However, the thing that really made this show for me was the moments. The moments made it great. It wasn't just moments like Bryan winning or Cesaro winning the Battle Royal. It was like just a great show, and I feel like people don't like it anymore simply for the fact of freaking this led to half of the stuff that happened in this show led to nothing down the road, which is bullshit in my opinion. So and I don't blame Daniel Bryan for his injuries. That injuries happen and stuff, but it's just what happened. So let's stop complaining and actually talk about this show. Let's talk about my favorite part of the entire show. Anyways, Hulk Hogan talks about being in the Silver Dome, brother. Wait. You mean the Superdome, right? Yeah. Hulk Hogan botched. He kept saying Silver Dome, even though it was a Superdome. He's like, many moments will come, and then Stone Cold comes out. They're arguing, and then at the time they announced that Stone Cold was going to be at WrestleMania 30, so we were all excited, and we all knew he was going to interact with Hulk Hogan. They were going back and forth. They had a stare down, because I've heard that in real life, Austin's not fond of Hogan, but then of course that's just history for them. And then later, The Rock comes out, and we haven't seen The Rock since WrestleMania 29, so that's insane. And basically, you just have all 3 men just talk. And my favorite part was when The Rock said, "Yeah, we're gonna, we have a guy fighting for hustle, loyalty, and respect, John Cena," which people booed, but that guy wouldn't have fought for hustle, loyalty, and respect if he didn't go back 29 years ago and see Hulk Hogan fight for those words. And then he's like, yeah, we have Daniel Bryan fighting the Authority, but he wouldn't have done that without you, Stone Cold. So basically, these 3 guys influenced the whole show, and that's what made it even bigger for me. And then it culminates with everybody saying their catchphrases. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so. So what you gonna do, brothers, when me, Stone Cold, The Rock, WrestleMania 30, and the Superdome come wild on you, brother? We have Hulk Hogan's theme, then we have all 3 drinking beer, the Austin's theme hits. That was the perfect way to kick off the show. No other moment topped it for me. This was just a phenomenal moment. And then how do you top that? You throw in one of the best matches of WrestleMania history, and arguably the best opener of WrestleMania history behind Hart and Owen. And Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. The video package was there about how the whole Yes movement. So it's insane. You have to start from with the Yes movement and end with the Yes movement. So this was just an incredible match. Now, normally when you think about it, Bryan Danielson and Triple H, that is a match that would be good, but you would never picture that to be one of your number one dream matches until you saw the right story with this, the authority figure versus the underdog. And it was just an incredibly well thought out, well put together match. It's one of my favorites. It's up there as one of the greats. It's just an incredible match. And it was pretty insane seeing Triple H have a really, really good match. And this shows that big part timers like Undertaker and Brock should start fighting smaller dudes. I realized that like recently AJ fought Brock Lesnar, and it felt like this is one of his best matches since freaking Eddie Guerrero. I'll say that. So I think they should follow that up. Like have the big guys fight smaller. The big part timers fight smaller dudes because they're young, they're older. So to fight the young guns, they make them feel important as well as get great matches from them. I mean, shoot, yeah, like I said, look at Brock and AJ Styles. Can you imagine the match that Finn and Brock could have had? So I'm just saying. And anyways, this was just great. We had Triple H had a pretty crazy entrance. We had Bliss, Charlotte, and Sasha introduced with him. It was just a great match. Daniel Bryan had to sell an injury basically at the end because he pins Triple H, and then Stephanie smacks him, and then Triple H smacks him with a chair, and that leads to Daniel Bryan going into the main event, but he has to work an injury. And I'll talk about that more when I get to the main event. Then we had the Shield face Kane and the New Age Outlaws. This is just a random squash match. The only cool thing about it was the double triple power bomb. That's about it. And like I remember watching this live. Like first of all, the Call of Duty masks were cool. I remember I left to pee, and then I come back and I see that the match is over. I see all three standing tall, so then I went back a little bit and it was like, wow, this shit was short. And it was kind of a waste for the Shield. They should have fought the Wyatts here instead of at Elimination Chamber. It's just a missed opportunity. I don't know what they were thinking. Then we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We all thought Big Show was gonna win, or Sheamus, or Alexander Rusev, aka Rusev, was gonna debut on this Battle Royal. We don't know what the hell was gonna happen. And we kind of didn't care for the most part. For the first Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, they actually did a good job in building it up. Like, oh, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. And I was curious, who the hell is going to win? At the time, my prediction was either The Big Show or Dolph Ziggler, because Dolph Ziggler feels like an underdog. Now, previously on the kickoff, which we had Los Matadores, Ryback and Curtis Axel, the Usos and the Real Americans at the time have a Fatal 4-Way Elimination Tag match, which was a great match. I recommend you guys to go watch it. At the end, it was the Real Americans versus the Usos. The Usos retain, and then Jack Swagger and Cesaro were slowly turning against each other. And then the match ends with Cesaro finally giving the Cesaro swing to Jack Swagger, and then he leaves. And we thought that was the end. Instead, Cesaro and Big Show were the final two in this battle royal. We had some cool moments, by the way. Kofi saving himself from elimination, that was cool. The way he landed exactly on the steel steps, that was cool. That was just awesome. We had the 30 things that Sheamus does. I forgot the name of that move, but he did it to Fandango 30 times, representing 30 years of WrestleMania. But the best part, of course, was Cesaro picking up Big Show and throwing him over the top rope. I was fucking marking out because he went from being in the Elimination Chamber to now to even having a great match with Sami Zayn at NXT TakeOver or NXT Arrival. My apologies. And now he's winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We all thought this was gonna be big for him. It wasn't. They did Cesaro wrong. They really did. He was a Paul Heyman guy, but they never worked their way out of it. Honestly, Paul Heyman. Unless you're Brock Lesnar, you're fucked if you're with Paul Heyman. Honestly, look at Curtis Axel, Ryback, Cesaro, two of which are unemployed. I mean, never mind. Curtis Axel's getting his momentum back with the Miztourage, but Cesaro, I mean, shoot, he wants to leave. I wouldn't blame you, but yeah, Cesaro, we thought this was gonna be a great moment for him, and it was a good battle royal. I had a fun watching the battle royal. It was actually a lot of fun, but it just sucks that Cesaro went nowhere after this. John Cena defeating Bray Wyatt. This was a great feud. Honestly, I was more excited for this than Daniel Bryan and the Authority. Um, I don't know why. This was just like a side main event because it was like, what the hell is John Cena gonna do at WrestleMania? You know, he can't fight The Undertaker. He can't be in the main event. What the hell is he gonna do? They put him with Bray Wyatt, and I was thinking, fuck, they're gonna bury Bray Wyatt. Sure enough, that does happen, but I don't know. This match overall was good. It's just that the wrong guy went over. They try to play the story of John Cena finding his inner heel, his inner monster. Um, it, they played Eminem's Legacy, the song Legacy from Eminem, and I forgot the name of the chick, but I don't know. This is again great feud, good match. Wrong guy went over. As much I can say. And I'm tired at this point. We were all tired of John Cena being booked like Superman because he was technically taking on 3 people with Harper and Rowan on the side. There's a part where John Cena does a "You Can't See Me." He goes and then Bray Wyatt does his pose like the Exorcist, and John Cena gets scared. It was funny. Freaking Bray Wyatt had a phenomenal entrance with the people singing his theme, so that was cool. But overall, I just felt like the wrong guy went over. Next match, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, 21-0. Now, first of all, the feud for this was awful. We had 2 part-timers. One only showed up when he felt like it. The other one could have shown up if he was fighting the right guy. But we're like, hey, you know what? Brock and Undertaker could actually have a great match. I mean, it's the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Oh boy, this match was awful. This match was really fucking bad. This showed that Undertaker was old and he wasn't having it anymore. At the time, I thought this match was okay just because of the moment that happened, but I don't know. This was just like awful. And honestly, if Undertaker was supposed to retire and Brock Lesnar was gonna beat him, this should have been it. Not fight 3 more matches and call it a day whenever you felt like it. But yeah, honestly, I would have had freaking the streak continue. Honestly, I would have had, if Undertaker wasn't gonna go 20-0, he should have gone at least 25-0 and finally call it a day. Yeah, I was disappointed with this match. First of all, it was awful, and Undertaker was like really, really like showing his age. So I mean, in one hand, it brought Brock Lesnar to be the most dominant heel of all time, but granted, that led to him being a shitty WWE champion, only defending that belt 3 times in his entire run. But yeah, this is just awful, and it's crazy. Freaking Undertaker passed out, and Vince McMahon had to leave WrestleMania to check on the Undertaker. That is some scary shit. How the fuck was the Undertaker still wrestling? And from the fact that this guy might not even be retired yet, that's fucking insane. Yeah, that was just fucking crazy. Then we had the Divas Invitational, Vicky Guerrero's Divas Invitational, where basically all the women fought for the Divas Championship. AJ Lee was a champion. A lot of random shit happened. I like the Nikki Brie interaction. That's about it. There's a part where Carmella, no, not Carmella. What's the fuck? Was it Carmella? Cameron from the Funkadactyl bitches. Freaking that chick, her bra like slipped and that shit broke, so she was out for most of the match. Eventually, AJ made one of the Bellas tap out, and she was still the champion, which eventually led to Paige coming out the next night and taking that Divas Championship away from her. We thought that was going to be the beginning of the Divas Revolution, but it wasn't. Yeah, we had to still wait like another year. But, you know, AJ Lee, we all thought she was going to lose, especially after CM Punk's controversy situation. He left, so, I mean, whatever. So, yeah, this is easily the worst part of the show. Shockingly, this, and I felt bad, too, because, like, first, the women didn't have a great match, and second, they had to go right after Undertaker losing. People were in shock. I remember it was fucking silent. And the fact that I'm still talking about, we people still talk about that black guy who just had his face like that was everybody's reaction. This was insane, and fuck. And I felt, and it was like, shoot, is Daniel Bryan gonna have his moment? Are people gonna just forget about it? Because freaking Undertaker lost. He finally lost at WrestleMania. He was 21-1. Sure enough, we have Randy Orton come out. They teased his old theme song, but then they had other people sing his live song. Then we had Batista, then Daniel Bryan come out. At first, I thought this was the match of the night. I regret saying that. I think Triple H and Daniel Bryan had a much better match. This was still a great moment for Daniel Bryan and stuff. The thing was that Daniel Bryan had to play an injury, but he still played kind of like the Superman John Cena. And that was slowly going to turn Daniel Bryan, or the fans against Daniel Bryan. So I could see why people got mad at him. Even Batista got mad. It's like, why isn't Daniel Bryan selling? Like, people are forgetting to sell. And that's the big issue. People are forgetting to sell in the company. But anyways, back to the match. It was going well. Triple H brings that crooked referee, Scott Armstrong, and I think that's his name, and punches him. That was great. Him attacking the Authority. There's this crazy spot where Batista does a Batista bomb to Daniel Bryan to one announce table, and Randy Orton catches him with an RKO, but he lands on one of the Titantrons, which fucking hurt. Looked like it hurt like a bitch. Daniel Bryan was out for the most match, so it was just Batista and Randy Orton. Then Daniel Bryan finds a way, gets up, and makes Batista tap out. So Daniel Bryan beat 3/4 of Evolution. He had his moment, and it's all thanks to us. You could say anybody could have made this moment, because the original plan was going to be Randy Orton and Batista, CM Punk and Triple H, and then Bryan and Sheamus for some reason. Sheamus ended up in the Battle Royal because Punk left, so Triple H had no match. So they had no choice but to make give Daniel Bryan his big moment, because he clearly deserved it. And something that's really cool is that every WrestleMania that ends with 0, you have the guy you always wanted to go over at the top. WrestleMania 10, we had Bret the Hitman Hart on the top. WrestleMania 20, you had Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, even though we can't remember that moment. And now WrestleMania 30, we have Daniel Bryan. What the hell are they going to do at WrestleMania 40? It really boggles me. Are we ever going to have another Daniel Bryan in this company? Like, are we going to have like a Johnny Gargano be the next top guy? Maybe WrestleMania 40 we could do a female main event WrestleMania, and that certain female has her moment. I was thinking Bayley, but I don't know if she would be still wrestling by this point. It would be 2024, so I don't know who would still be around in that time. So that's what makes this WrestleMania so special, the moments. Oh, I forgot one other moment. So Mr. T was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Mean Gene interviews Hulk Hogan, then Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper, which R.I.P. Roddy Piper all the way. He was a legend. But then we had those three, and then later Mr. T come out. All three of them bury the hatchet. That was a mark out moment, because I saw this with different kinds of fans. We had the YWC. We had Diesel 101. We had the Wrestling Crisis at the time, Lundrick. We all talked about this moment. We all talked about, and then I even talked about it with like people like outside of the YWC, like my friends in real life. They were just marking out. This was just a great event. I really enjoy it. Yeah, some wrestling wasn't that great. I agree, but the moments count. And when WrestleMania gives you moments, which is something that WWE is clearly lacking on. We crave these amazing 5-star classics, but we also are forgetting that we need moments in the WWE. We need moments in WrestleMania that count. Like, can you imagine if Mike Tyson didn't show up for Austin and Michaels at WrestleMania 14? That match wouldn't. I mean, it would be a great match, but I don't know if it would have been as memorable as it was today. So WWE, keep this in, or people. I'm talking to everybody. Keep in mind that WrestleMania will have great matches, but it will also need its moments. And this had lots of moments, which made a great show. This is a 9 out of 10. A show fantastic show. Yeah, that's it for the retro reviews. I'll be doing some rebooking, some top tens, some upcoming videos. Probably gonna review Black Panther coming up and do some top tens on the Elimination Chamber and other stuff like that. But anyways, thanks for sitting down through these retro reviews. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until then, I'm the Double X Prince. Subscribe.